Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux. Let me make sure my microphone is close enough. Woohoo! Alright. So, how is everybody doing today? We are going to be looking today at Fedora. And the new release was out, and rather than just going over it, because not a lot has changed since the beta we looked at, we're going to talk about how you can take Fedora and get it set up for regular use. So we're going to look at installing applications, printers, online accounts, other basic things like that. So that's kind of what our goal is today. So hopefully everything works out. How is everyone here today? Michelle, greetings. Tried installing Fedora on the hard drive with Ubuntu. Some reason won't let you wipe the drive and install. Usually that means that the drive is mounted. That might be the problem if you can unmount the drive, or you can try and wipe the drive prior to running the installer. I haven't had that issue on Fedora. I have had it on Debian, but I haven't had it on Fedora. Like Fedora, some ways, support period is too small. Yes, support period for Fedora is pretty small. So you have a rolling, like an arch, where it's constantly updating, constantly rolling to the latest. You have something like Mint that I use, which holds back a lot and a long time. And then Fedora is kind of like Ubuntu without an LTS. It just kind of, you get a version that goes up for a few months, and then there usually is some type of upgrade path. But sometimes sometimes you just take your home folder, save that somewhere, and reinstall the whole thing, and then just drop your home folder back on. So that's one of the things on Fedora. But it is what it is, I guess. Alex, yes, Fedora users tend to make a clean install. Yep. Let's see, Gnome. Hello there, Mr. Gnome. Hello, Mark. Greetings, Loopy KO2610. Says purr. Yes, the cat loves the mouse pad. It's cat pad, really. Not called mouse pad, it's called the cat pad. Fedora 30, yep, just released. UK Beast 89, sup, yo. Peter, greetings. I'm going to call you Peter, my apologies. Hello to you. Installed Fedora 29, laptop HP Ryzen. All worked out of the box, kernel 4.19, kernel 20, update broke the video until 5.0.6, all worked fine again. Alright, Fedora 30 is coming soon. How can I upgrade but keep Fedora 29? Like, how can I do with the kernel? I don't know how to hold the kernel back. I'm not a regular Fedora user, so it's not something that I have a ton of extra experience in. Actually Fedora 30 is out now. It is officially out. Greetings, Thomas Holt. Hello, how are you? Anaconda is the worst thing of Fedora. Yeah, it's a big snake in the grass, isn't it? Talked about that on his channel. With Anaconda, yeah. Fedora in Portuguese means stink or bad smell. Maybe that's why it just doesn't catch on. I don't know. That was like the old Chevy had. Was it Chevy? Yeah, Chevy had the old car called the Nova. But which consequently I've heard in Spanish means won't move. Is that right? Anybody Spanish speakers? I believe Nova means won't move. Hello, Q1 Fiend. How are you? Greetings there. Jessica, hello there. Sup to you as well. Paul, greetings, Paul. Hello, White Chocolate. Greetings to you. All right, shall we go ahead and jump into this? Now, here's a fun question. I'm going to try and get this one answered, so we'll try and get this before we actually start recording the video. When I set up online accounts, should we do this, setting up the online accounts, the way that will be safe for every distro, or the way that will work with GNOME, Budgie, etc., which is definitely the easier way? You guys let me know. Easy or hard way to set up the Nextcloud on this. We're just going to simulate putting in documents, contacts, and calendars. And I was trying to do this kind of desktop environment agnostic. Nova means new in Spanish. I thought it meant won't move. No go. All right, so we get a little bit. Code my own Windows virus. Don't code your own Windows viruses. We have enough Windows viruses in the world. Let's see, Fedora 5 kernel is putting it off for me. It's broken for AMD. Oh, really? Is it broken for AMD? Huh. You know, testing a computer and suspend, I just never really suspend computers. So it's like, I think suspend doesn't work, or at least didn't work in Linux Mint a while ago, but I never am aware of that because I don't generally suspend computers. Well, we all have blind spots, I guess. All right, so universal or GNOME-based cloud sync. Let's see if anybody will get me an idea there before we get started. So that's kind of what we're looking for. So universal, of course, is using the online accounts built into GNOME. That's the GNOME based, and then universal will be using evolution because it works. All right, not really virus. Made it to pop up on my grandparents' computer. Oh boy, yes. Messing up your grandparents' computers. Just pop it up. It's like, if you don't pay me. No, we don't want to do that. All right, no move, no mover. Owns a laptop, so suspend is a must. Yeah, I just shut mine down in between. I don't, if I'm moving it, I'll either leave it on and plugged in, or I'll just shut it down. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and roll this guy up, and then hopefully I will see which direction we would like to go. Oh, it still says Ubuntu, but that's okay. We won't be able to see it by the time I get that on there. All right. So we're going to boot up the machine, and then, oh, kitty, don't knock those off. Don't knock those off, kitty. It's not time for your kitty treats yet. Kitty's like, yeah, man, I'm going to knock that thing off. All right, kitty. All right. As soon as this loads up, then I'm going to jump on over there and start the video there. I don't need a camera. Just waiting for Fedora to boot up, and then, so I've already installed them. I'll tell you that when we start recording. So, welcome back to Switch to Linux. Today we're just going to talk about setting up Fedora, getting it ready to use with whatever your instance happens to be. So this is Fedora 30, the brand new release. I installed this with GNOME, which is the default workstation in Fedora. There are a few official builds of Fedora, and there's several community builds as well. This, of course, also now supports the Deepin desktop environment and the Pantheon desktop environment. You can install it with Deepin. You cannot install it with Pantheon, but there are some instructions out there about how to do that. Now, I've not gone into this, so when we get in here, we're going to see the original finalizing setup screens. Of course, we can select whether we're going with GNOME, which is Wayland, Classic, or X. So we're just going to go ahead and log in with this. Now, I'm going to do the setup as agnostically as possible with respect to the desktop environments. And so what that means for us is, what we're going to do is, where possible, I'll show you how to do it on GNOME, but I want to try and show you how you can set up Fedora no matter which desktop environment that you use. So now we are logged into Fedora. Just give it a moment, and we're going to get a pop-up which is going to finalize things like location services and things like that. All right, so here is our welcome screen. We want to start with picking our language. It's already set to US English, which is what we are here. And then here is picking your keyboard layout. And again, we are on US English, which is where I want to be. Now here we can enable location services, enable automatic problem recording. I'm going to turn off location services. I will keep automatic problem reporting going because that's going to help them. If this were a full production system, I would probably turn that off. This is just a matter of personal choice. But since we're doing basically a test build today, I wanted to keep that turned on to get information back to them early. Now here we can connect our online accounts. Now, one of the things we're going to do here is I'm going to show you how to set up online accounts with Nextcloud. And I think we will do it on the GNOME, since that will apply to GNOME, Cinnamon, and Budgie. I do have a video about how to do that across any Linux distro, which basically I use Evolution as an email, calendar, and contact system because it works great on any distro I've tried it on. We are going to set this up, but we're not going to set it up here. We're going to show you how to set that up later. So now we are set to go. So we can start using Fedora. We get started and we have some help screen, how to launch applications, how to switch tasks. The thing about GNOME is you want to take the time to learn the keyboard shortcuts so you can figure out how to get everything running. That's really... I have talked about that in some other places. You get used to it, and it's actually very nice, very easy platform. If you're not used to it, it's a little bit different. Of course, this does not support using desktop icons. There are extensions to do that. We're not going to walk through those. Like I said, I want to show you as agnostically as possible how to get everything running. So I did set this up with a mostly minimal install. I went ahead and installed LibreOffice during the installer just to give it a test. We have some basic utilities here. We have our just some basic LibreOffice, Rhythmbox, Firefox. We do have calendar and contacts. We do not have the documents by default. We're going to go ahead and install that one. And before we do anything, I want to see how many system resources this is using. So we're running at about 1 gig, but it is running version 3.32 of GNOME, which is very snappy, regardless of the fact that it is using quite a bit of system resources, but it is very snappy in how well it runs. This is a very good version of GNOME. All right, so I'm actually going to come into the Software Center first. We're just going to go ahead and just install a couple applications here just to show you how the Software Center works on the regular, and then we'll show you how to install software without the Software Center as well. Because if you do like a Plasma build or KDE build, you're going to have Discovery. Just depending on which distro or desktop environment you're using, you will have a slightly different software store. They're all going to be fairly easy. Okay, so the first thing we see, now this is something that Fedora used to be very difficult to get third-party repositories. This allows you to do things like MP3s, video codecs, and things like that. This used to be a lot more difficult to set up. There used to be these big guides about the steps you need to do. In this case now, starting a few versions back, hey, we just enable this, and now we can install, we can go ahead and install things from the third-party repositories. All right, so the one that I would like to look up right now, and this is something that I wanted to show in my Nextcloud tutorial, is the documents. Now, the reason documents does not work in Mint, which is what we were using, is that there is a data analytics script that a lot of people don't like running, and I believe it runs on Fedora. It does not run on Mint, so we're going to go ahead and install that. So as far as getting anything else running, we're going to install some things through our terminal, and I do not remember every exact package name we're going to install through the terminal, but this will work on any of your Fedoras. So let's see if I can first bump this size up here a little bit. Okay, so let's just go ahead and bump this up just so we can see. All right, so in Fedora, we have DNF. Now, apt is what you find in your Debian base, so Debian, Ubuntu, Mint, things like that. The thing I like about apt is that I don't always have to go and update the repositories. If I'm installing a bunch of different things, I don't have to check the repositories. With Fedora, DNF automatically does that, so we don't have to, which is a great advantage, and we don't forget a step. We don't have an extra step, but it's a disadvantage in that if you're installing a bunch of things and you're doing it kind of in steps, not just installing everything right together, then it's going to check for updates to the repositories every time, which I think gets a little bit goofy. So it's DNF install. Let's just do evolution. Gotta remember, it has to be run as root. Duh. I should have known that. All right, so all we had to do is DNF install Evolution. Evolution is, of course, the email system that I prefer, which actually might already be installed. Is it? I didn't even check. That used to be installed by default on Fedora, so it might have already been there. Since I did the net installer, it may not have been now. So you can see it's taking a little bit of time. It's grabbing our updates. It's updating the repos. It's doing all of the different things it needs to do. And then what it will do is get out there and install Evolution for us. It is running very much slower than it should be, though. That is, this should be running quite a bit faster. Wow, this is running really slow. There we are. All right, so now it's going to be go ahead and installing some dependencies, whatever else. So yes, we're going to go ahead and do that. Generally, if you need to do some more advanced custom things, then make sure that you're checking what everything is. And in this case, we're just going to run through with defaults and things. So we will get Evolution installed. So now if we go into here, we will have Evolution will show up here. So now we have Evolution installed. So the other things you might need, maybe you might need GIMP. You might need, we might need GIMP. So let's just go ahead and just push up to get back to your previous commands. And you can run a few different applications just in a row. There's Chromium, which I'm not sure if it's Chromium or Chromium Browser on Fedora. Let's not install that one because I don't remember if it's Chromium or Chromium Browser. Some distros it's Chromium, some of them it's Chromium Browser. So there's GIMP. Let's see, what else might we do? Let's do Audacity. We'll just install a couple things. So you can see here, it is going to download the packages that we need. So it's downloading GIMP, downloading Audacity. It's going to go ahead and get these guys installed for us, grabbing some dependencies. And so now we should be getting ready to be set up. Okay, so that is now complete. So if we come into our applications, we should see Audacity, we should see GIMP. So that's how you're going to install applications. This will work on any of your Fedoras. It's just sudo dnf install. You can remove it, sudo dnf remove application name. So that is how you can install those. Again, if you like the software center and the GUI, you can do that. If you like the terminal, you can go ahead and use that. All right, so that is how we can set that up. Now, printers. This is another fun one. First, let's go ahead and see if in this one we want to go over here and we want to make sure that we have, let's see, devices, printers. Okay, so what we need to do here is we're going to unlock this. We need to enter our password. And then I have a sneaky suspicion it's not going to be able to set up my printer correctly. When you are using printers on Linux, some printers work really well, some printers don't. My case, I have a Brother HL L2380DW. It's an annoying printer on Linux. It works because there's drivers for it. You usually have to manually install them. This is the printer. We're going to give it a try. My guess is it's not going to work. Now, if you're using scanners, I found Epson work really well out of the box. In this printer's case, the printer works great. The scanner, not so much. All right. So here it's giving me a notification that we need to find software, and it's not going to be able to install it. So it says it's ready. I have a sneaky suspicion it is not. Let's go ahead and let's see if we can just go ahead and set up a print job here. I have a sneaky suspicion it's not going to work. Let's just go ahead and do LibreOffice Writer and see what it happens to do. I have a sneaky suspicion I'm going to have to go online and grab the drivers. Now, Canon, also very difficult to work with. HP, I hear, work pretty well. I don't generally recommend HP products, but they do actually work pretty well on Linux. And I found Brother and Epson printers are very good. Epson scanners are very good. Brother scanners are a pain. HP generally work pretty good. The bottom line is what you want to do is we want to make sure that whenever you're buying new hardware for a Linux system, you want to make sure that you are grabbing do the research, know what distro you're going to run, things like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to print this. My estimation is it's going to fail, but let's listen for it. This is a usual thing for this printer. So I actually have the printer working perfectly fine under Arch without a problem. I have it working just fine under Debian and things as well. So yeah, it's not going to work for us. So bummer. Oh, wait. Nope, not going to work for us. All right. So what we're going to have to do is let's go online. Let's cancel. We'll keep this. All right. You go somewhere else. All right. There we are. So now I'm just using the keyboards. Just move to a new system. All right, let's go ahead and boot this up, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to install the actual drivers from the website. So let's do Brother printer drivers. Does help if I type in printer. Okay, we're just going to go down to downloads, and we're just going to type in RHLL2380DW is what we're going to search for here. All right, so now when we get to this one here, this is indeed the model. Notice that it already detected that we are on Linux. We have mobile, Linux, Mac, Windows. Now, Fedora uses RPM. So if you are on Fedora or OpenSUSE, RPM. If you are on an Ubuntu type build or a Debian-based build, which includes Ubuntu, Mint, things like that, you want to go with your Deb. All right. So we're going to grab the RPM. Hopefully we will get everything. So there is an entire driver install tool. We can grab the just drivers individually. We can grab the scanner drivers individually. So we're just going to go ahead and grab tool. And then we're going to go ahead and agree to the EULA. So I've read this thing a little bit. And let's go ahead and just save the file. So you'll see that it's giving us our steps down here, what we need to do to install it. And so what we're going to need to do is open up a terminal window. So let's go ahead and do that. And inside of our terminal window, we want to go to our downloads directory. So here we are, and you can see here that where our installer is. So enter the commands. So we need to unzip it. So I'm not sure if gunzip is going to be installed on this. It may be, it may not be. We're going to go ahead and give this a try. So if you press tab, it will autofill to the nearest thing on your system. And so see there that we have gone into there. And so what we're going to do now is let's go ahead and we can either run the sudo, or we can go into a super user. Whoop. SU, not US. All right. So now you can see that we have a hashtag now. So the dollar symbol means that we're under our user. Hashtag means that we are under sudo. So here we are in sudo. In this case, it drops us directly into the directory that we need to go. So now we're going to go bash, which is an executable. And then we should actually have to go into the folder, do we not? Oh, well, let's just try it like this. All right, and then we need to give it the name, which is the HL-L2380DW. You'd think I'd be used to this by now. I've actually run this so many times. All right, so now it tells us we're going to install some things. Let me actually boost this up in size for you guys, so you can read it a little bit better. All right, so now we're going to install the following packages. So we have cups wrapper, we have the drivers for the printer, and we're going to do the driver scanner as well. All right, so this is the software license. I have actually read that before. It's quite exhilarating. So now it's just installing what it needs to install to get the system to work. Total download size, 3.8 megabytes. So we're going to go ahead and download all that. Okay, now the one place that may give us some issues is the scanner. Sometimes it will automatically find everything. Sometimes you need to actually tell it which IP address your printer is on. To account for that, I've actually dropped my printer onto a specific IP address on my network by forcing it into the same place. Hey, look at that. It just told me that the printer is now added. I got a pop-up notification about that. We're just waiting for it to do some things. So anytime you get a printer and you're unsure, double check the driver. Get them only from the manufacturer's website. Go to the manufacturer's website. Like I said, Brother supports those. Canon also does, although Canon printers are a little bit more difficult to get running. Some printers work without going in and doing this. All right, so will you specify your URI? I believe this is the step. This is the one that I think I need to specify yes in this case. I think this is the one that's going to be asking for the specific IP address. Okay, so yeah, this is for the scanner. So we're going to specify the IP address. I'm going to do 12. The IP address of my printer is 192.168.5.141. I'm pretty sure that's it. All right, so test print. We're going to do a yes. Hopefully this will work. And the printer just kicked on, and it sounds like it's about to print something. Alrighty, and so our printer worked. We have our printer test page, and down at our printer test page, let's see what gives us that. So there you go. There's the proof. We printed it today. So that's how to get that guy working. Now the next step, if I remember, I believe the second step now is the scanner. So this is going to be the scanner driver. Okay. So apparently that says it is working. We're going to exit out of here. I'm not sure if I have Simple Scan on the system. Yes, I do have Simple Scan on the system. So let's open up Simple Scan and see if it finds a scanner. So it actually says it's ready to scan. So let's go ahead and do this, see if it scans. And it does sound like it's scanning. All right, so this one here, you can see it is actually scanning. So everything is set up working just right. Now, do I recommend this printer if you're on Linux? No. I'd recommend looking for an alternative printer. It will work. You can get it working, but there are some complications I've had. I've not gotten it to work on every single distro. Now, of course, from here we can save the image. Man, they really changed Simple Scan. This is more complicated than it used to be. I have no idea how to save my scan. All right, we have a Simple Scan. I don't know how to save it now. Let's see. There's copy, crop, copy, start again. Oh, it's up here, I bet. No? I have no idea how to save the scan on Simple Scan anymore. Used to be extremely easy. There's single pages. Well, I scanned it. I don't know how to save the scan, but Oh, okay. I get to save the document to a file. Hey, it's that one. All right. Oh, we're not going to bother saving that. But that anyway is how we can get our driver utilities working. So now we have Fedora 30 set up. We've installed some applications. Now we have our printer and our scanner set up. Let's go ahead and talk about our online accounts. So this is the one. If you, I will link, and there will be a description in the description down below. I will have another one how you can set up an online account through Evolution. But since GNOME, and this will also apply to Budgie and Cinnamon, which are all GNOME based. Also, you can set this up on KDE by setting up the online account utility there. All of those allow an integrated online accounts. So we'll click in on online accounts. You can sync a Google account, a Facebook account, why you would, Microsoft, a few other ones. I have a Nextcloud account set up here, and this is actually my test Nextcloud account that I have some tutorials on. And so we're just going to go ahead and enter the data for that. Of course, my username is testuser, and this is going to be our password. Okay, I believe that is working there. So that should sync in. We have calendar, contacts, and files. That's interesting. I'm wondering if they don't have the latest version of the online account synced into this, because there should actually be a fourth one unless they took it out, but I don't remember them doing that. The fourth one will allow you to sync your documents as well. So I'm thinking they may not have the latest version of online accounts put into this. That's actually why we installed the documents, because, and I actually did test this on Ubuntu, that when you come over to, not that document viewer, we installed the GNOME documents. The GNOME documents should link into Nextcloud. That's actually a surprise to me. That should actually automatically allow a sync in there. So let's see if the documents opens and see if they're there. I'm thinking it's just an older version of online accounts. Oh, well, we can't show you the documents, but it should be syncing everything else. So let's look at our contacts. Okay, so here when we get into our contacts, we have a local address book, and this is our contacts from our Nextcloud. So click Done. And then now you'll see that we have our contacts. These are just, spoof contacts from a sample database list. Also, we have our calendar will be synced as well. And so with this, let's back up to April so you can actually see these are all my Nextcloud calendar events that we had for tests. So now we have our accounts and such synced. This will also work. The reason I love Evolution so much is particularly on GNOME. This also integrates in. We don't need a new email address set up. This integrates in, and our contacts and our calendars will also automatically be synced into this. Let me go into month and back up a month so you can see that now inside of Evolution, my calendars and my contacts are all synced into Evolution. This also runs my email platform. So that will work. Now, if you do not have GNOME or Budgie or Cinnamon or KDE and you're not using an integrated online accounts, I just run everything and you can manually set them up in Evolution. And I actually have a video about how to make that work. So that's okay as well. Let's talk briefly about themes and fonts and things like that. So let's go ahead and first let's, I think I have down, there we are, yep. All right, so this guy here, I got some text, and you can kind of see what we have. Let's go ahead and install some extra fonts. Now, in Linux, there's a couple ways to, this is why I don't like GNOME. It's like, I want to minimize that, but oh well, we're just going to go over here. All right, so we're going to go and grab some fonts. So Font Squirrel is by far the best place you can grab fonts that are free and legal and not connected to malware. This is what I use for all my writing projects and things. So what we'll do is let's just go ahead and grab, let's go this, we have to make sure you're not pulling from off-site. These go to places to buy fonts. So I'm going to hit local only down here, and let's just grab this 1942 report. You might recognize that's one of the fonts I use with, I use that with tinfoil hat time. All right, so what we're going to do here is first let's go ahead and go to Nautilus, and this will be downloaded to the downloads folder. All right, now there are a couple of there's a couple ways to install fonts on Linux. So one of them is to install them to the root folder user share fonts. So if you were to go to that folder, so go down here and go on into user share fonts. All right. This folder here, anything that you drop into this folder is going to apply system-wide. Now we need to move these in here. We need to move these in here with root privileges. So since this is Nautilus, we can't open this as root privileges here. The cheater's way to do it, though, there is a cheater's way to do it if you are too comfortable with the GUI and you want to run this in the GUI. You can actually load this up by doing sudo Nautilus. I can never spell Nautilus though. So sudo Nautilus, it asks us for our password, and oh, it can't display it. That used to be able to display it. That's sad. I used to be able to load up Nautilus as root by going sudo Nautilus. We might be able to open it up as root. So that's taken care of. We can't do that anymore. Sad. Sad day. The other thing, though, you can do is inside of your home directory, you can always install fonts, themes, icons for the local user. So what we're going to do, whoa, wrong button. I hit a either a shutdown or a logout button. Whoops. Let's go ahead and boot that guy back up. Mental note, when you're doing things on VirtualBox, avoid the right control key. That overrides the system. Good time to check up on comments. Download hook on save. Thanks, Farron. Yep. See, that's why I like menus and not cutesy icons. Like, give me a menu. I do that on Cinnamon, on Mate, whatever else. I have a nice menu. It says save, you know. All right, so I accidentally shut down the virtual machine. Whoops. We're going to go back to our home folder here, and inside of your home folder, you can actually, holding Control and push H, this will show your hidden folders. What we can do to install our font is we can create a new folder and call it .fonts. And then .fonts, anything that we drop inside of .fonts will be installed just for this individual user. So we're going to go ahead and what I just need is a new window just to get us into our downloads directory. And here is our font. And if I just copy this guy over, yeah, we should be able to copy it over. See, this is why I use Cinnamon, I use with Nemo, because I can go directly from here without extracting it first. Let's just extract it. All right, now I should be able to drag it over. There we go. Now it's dragged over. I'm spoiled by Nemo. All right, so we'll go ahead and boot up Writer again since I shut the thing down. And so now this font will be installed for my user, but it will not be installed for other users in the system as well. Let's go ahead and recover this document. Okay, it doesn't exist. All right, whatever. Finish. All right. All right, so now we have our test document back. And now we should have our 1942 report. Now, this will not show up for all users. This just shows up for my user because it is in that it is in the home folder .fonts. You can do the same .icons, .themes if your desktop environment uses themes, things like that. So now we've pretty much covered how to install applications, how to install new fonts, set up a printer, set up a scanner, integrate online accounts, things like that. So our system now should be pretty much ready to use. We could go through and set up, how we want our system, but that's more related to the desktop environment, not related to the distro itself. And so we're going to stop this video here. And we'll talk. I do need to do my making the most out of GNOME. I'll do that probably sometime in the next week or two. But hopefully this will get you set up with Fedora very nicely. Let me know what extra things you would be looking for. If I've missed anything that you need to see, let me know what those would be in the comments down below. You can help support the channel by having a look at the links above me or in the description down below, and follow along on the social accounts if you want to see when I update more videos. All right, we'll go ahead and leave that open for a few minutes. Yes, Kitty, you can come up now if you want. Well, he's thinking about wanting to come up, but I don't know. All right, let's see. Let's see. Never gotten a virus on Linux. Yep. There you go, buddy. Kitty's up here going, yep, now we're chilling. Now we're chilling like a villain. There you go, bud. All right. Those laptops, okay. Okay. Polyglots there. Polyglots, polygons, poly what? Poly want a cracker? Ooh. Okay. Fresh install Fedora if I really need to. Going to install the machine. Do not have Fedora currently on it. I usually use the Fedora upgrade procedure. Never spotted, I think we wanted to say. How do you spot a virus? Ubuntu 10 up to Arch today. All right. By default, it uses Wayland, right? Yes. Fedora uses Wayland by default. Very problematic for NVIDIA. It might be. I specifically do AMD. Now that I'm running Linux, it plays nicer. All right. Fedora login window reminds me of a Windows login. Yeah, it kind of does. Kitty, please don't knock my camera off. Deepin has rebased so many times. Ubuntu, Debian Stretch, yeah. Yeah, they bounce back and forth, don't they? Wayland plus NVIDIA equals no video. Fedora sucks for hybrid laptops. What do you mean by hybrid laptops? Same as Manjaro. They seem only Ubuntu works better. Wayland, yes, Wayland does use more RAM. So like if I were to switch this over to Xorg, it would actually run faster. Although I have found that the latest 3.32 does run very snappy itself. Hey Kitty, can I have my mouse, please? Thank you. All right, you can have the mouse pad. Just give me the mouse. All right. Kitty's like, no, man. Joking, no video personally. Didn't ever try Wayland. Yeah, I gotta try Wayland sometime now and see if it's getting usable enough. For a while, like nearly everything I was doing, I just Wayland just wouldn't work for me. Hopefully they're getting better though. Gotta get back to work. See you later, Paul. Did not find? That's right. DNF is pretty slow. Yeah, apt is pretty quick. I know that. Tried Fedora for a couple months. Only once though. I'm good with Mint. Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, Mint works great. It's very stable. I like it. Using Pac-Man looks slow. Yeah. Not as slow as Deepin using mirrors from China. Nope. Yeah, I think it is Chromium and DNF. Chromium. I think Chromium browser might be Ubuntu, right? Anybody know for sure which one it is? Later, Loopy. Brother laser and all-in-one scanner. It's a no-go on Linux. That's what that one is. A laser scanner all-in-one. It works. It works as long as I install the drivers. It wants to always want to use the free drivers, and they don't work. They freeze. In fact, usually freeze the systems up. It's just that one particular one. How to run Fedora on a Raspberry Pi. I think they might have. I think they have. Do they have a Fedora? Let's see if they have a Fedora build for Raspberry Pi. Okay. It looks like they probably do not have one. You would need an ARM image for Raspberry Pi, and I don't see them supporting an ARM image. But if somebody knows differently, please let me know, because I'm not an expert on Fedora. Where's Quint? We need Quint. All right. HP2. Printer is Mint. Their drivers are great for printer. Brother drivers, no luck at all. I found that when I tried to reinstall my drivers on Linux Mint Mate 18.3, the scanner stopped working, but the printer works fine, which is a bummer because the printer used to not work and the scanner worked fine, but the scanner is more important for that computer. Oh well, we'll figure it out sometime. Scan PDF, then transfer to SD card for the printer. Yeah, that's what I should have done. HP works out of the box in Linux from my experience. Mainly when the printer is added via being connected to the internet, and then it can be found automatically. Yeah, I think HP has the best Linux support. I just don't buy HP. Just don't buy HP. Can't do it. Nope. Choose video format you need. Operating system doesn't matter. Yeah. Can you give any advice on video editing, or do you have any such editing? I mean, I have a few videos on Kdenlive. Just go into my channel and search Kdenlive. There's about 3 or 4 videos there. Ken works on Fedora, but need to get to the page to download the app for the Wi-Fi configuration. Yeah. Wasn't it supposed to be RPM? Fedora's RPM, yeah. Not sure what the context of the question was. Don't know much about differences between format except quality and size of outputs, as I can observe them easily. I usually do WebM is what I usually do because it's an open source format. But there's MP4 is good. Yeah, so you kind of want to know about what your needs are. Bash name of folder and downloads. Okay, yeah. Usually I've had to go into the file. I don't remember. I don't know. I don't bash a lot. I usually all the bashes that I do are set up as scripts, and so it's like I remember the script. That's what I do. All right. Okay. So further editing your original file, so fails emission unless there's something not understand. Download icon equals save. Yeah, but that's I already talked about that. I prefer menus, not icons, because I don't know, there's no standard as to what icons mean, you know. It's like a gamble. What does this icon do? I don't know. Let's push it and see what happens. Accidentally pushed the nuke codes, you know. Highest quality you can, and MP4 is a solid format. Yep. Is Nextcloud safe to use? Yes. I did hear something goofy about the Nextcloud client app. I asked for a link for it. If I get the chance, I'll look it up. I don't remember if there's any, what the deal is with it. But apparently there's something goofy with a client app for it at some point in time that somebody told me about. I don't know anything about that, but I don't generally use the client anyway. Yeah, my Nextcloud is on a server that I completely control. And it's end-to-end encrypted that I have set up. So yes, that's why I like Nextcloud. The tab layout installed on LibreOffice. Tab layout like the ribbon layout? I don't know. Hello, Lars from Norway. Greetings. Forge can't do the same. What the same? P-exec Nautilus? I've always done sudo Nautilus. Although that's been on Tail, so Debian build is where I've usually done that. Still best to use MP4, but sacrifice resolution and bitrate to save on file size. Makes worse video. Yeah. If it's Wayland, you can't... Oh, if it's Wayland, I can't open Nautilus as root. Okay. That's good to know. Elusive host key when you forget what the host key is. All right. I did the Fedora Plymouth theme, though, just making the transition into the login screen, better replacing the logo down there and having the spinner from GNOME there for the design consistency. All right. Whoa. Greetings, Sleepy. How's it going? Okay. Can install fonts through GNOME, making most of GNOME. Step 1 leaked earlier. Switch to Cinnamon and done. Yes. There you go. There you go. Do I use GNOME boxes? I use GNOME as little as I need to. ClamAV on my servers. Yeah, ClamAV running on servers is a good thing. Hello, Vince. Greetings. How's it going there? Vince, I had a question for you. Can you take a picture of the moon for me through binoculars? There's a long story. I'll tell you about it on Thursday. I've used the GNOME tweak tool yet. No, just because I was trying to do this video kind of independent of GNOME. So that's kind of a GNOME thing, so I didn't want to use it specifically. No Wayland. All right. Okay, can't believe how hostile and useless the Manjaro community on IRC is. Ubuntu guys on IRC are outstanding. Yes. Yes, if you need help, stay away from the Manjaro forums. If you want to run Manjaro, it's a great distro. But if you need help, just don't go near those forum guys. Go consult the Arch guys first. Claims email servers. Yes, that is exactly why you want to run antivirus on a server. Yep. Arch community is not a lot better, but it is better than Manjaro as far as I have heard. Okay, I'll switch to Linux. Number 1, Chromium browser in Ubuntu. Am I going to check out Deepin 1510? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Free drivers don't work for all brother, and proprietary machines won't operate the scanner. Yep. Favorite non-mainstream distros? Well, what do you mean by mainstream? Because frankly, I think the mainstream distros are where most of the, the good functionality is. You get out of the mainstream, and oftentimes you get, Ubuntu with a different theme, which is not a distro, or a different package installed somewhere, which is not a distro. You get, you get something. Trying to think of a good example. I don't know. It's non-mainstream distros. I don't know. I don't really, outside of Linux Mint, Maybe Manjaro, a few other ones. I don't have a major favorite. And then it depends on what you mean by mainstream. So like my writing computer runs Peppermint, which is good. Epson printer is good for Linux. Yes, actually, I think I have had good. I've had the best luck with Epson scanners on Linux. Epson printers, I think, were generally okay as well, but it's been a while since I've tried one. It works, but they annoy me with their chipped cartridges. Yep. Cat is on YouTube. Yes. Cat is on YouTube. He's the brain of the channel right here. Gonna use the option to change mouse scroll speed without using console install. Deepen speed with a Kwin? Huh. Terrible luck with WebM as a whole. I should probably try switching to MP4 instead of WebM. WebM is kind of what I use by default just because it's open, more of an open format, but I think MP4 is actually better. Rip Rocket League, though. It's now moving to Steam from Epic Games. Huh, okay. Deepin is now based on Debian Stable. What? Are they going to figure out where they want to stay? Hey, it was always unstable. I mean, come on. Okay, we're working horses Ubuntu 16. Was unstable with the old unstable packages in their own server. Yeah, Deepin does not have direction. Yeah, changing your package base all the time is kind of a crazy endeavor. With having the latest drivers, using stable. Nextcloud work with, I have no idea. 000 web host, I have no idea. My guess is probably not. Let me have a look at it. I'd say probably not, because anytime you get a free type of system like this with, you know, with the cPanel and stuff like this, you're so limited in what you can do that it's not going to be functional either way. But give it a try, see what happens. For the moon through binoculars, sounds like a flat earther experiment. No, I used to work in a planetarium, and I was talking to my friend. I was actually in the old planetarium yesterday, and kind of goes back to the crazy education-y stuff. But there's like a science group that was sending out, you know, kits for kids, and they give them this big poster of the moon with animals on it, and you were supposed to find all the animals on the moon. And we put the poster up, and the moon was rotated 120 degrees. Now, the thing about the moon is the moon has what's called geocentric orbit. So, meaning that it has one full revolution per one full rotation, which means that the moon always, the exact same face of the moon is always facing the Earth. So, no matter where you are north of the equator, the moon always looks the same. Once you go south of the equator, you might get a 180. I think you get a 180 image of the moon as to what we see. So if anyone down under wants to take a good old picture of the moon and send it to me, I would absolutely love to see it from south of the equator. So that was kind of what our discussion point had to do with, is the fact that education has become so bad lately that they don't even care that their picture is not scientifically accurate. And then this caused a discussion with his grad student that didn't understand why it's so important. And it is important. You know, even though it's just for little kids, it's critical to have everything as accurate as you can possibly make it. And when the moon is rotated 120 degrees, it takes away from the educational experience. And so we were getting into the discussion of talking about what does it look like from the southern hemisphere. So if anyone down there wants to take a photo of the moon through binoculars for me, south of the equator, I'd very much love to see that. Use Fedora KDE, had read as usual like RPM and KDE. Change to Manjaro with the Deepin desktop. Best I can zoom my lens. Hey, yeah. If you can do a zoom lens on an SLR camera, yeah, that would work too. Just something that you can actually see the phase, like see what the moon looks like. User Gulang is annoying, makes it harder to create package updates for OpenSUSE. T601 Frank Pad off eBay recently installed Linux Mint. Very cool. Awesome, Cobra Commander. G.I. Joe's coming though, man. Be careful. Comment how terrible Nautilus is. Then the moon question came out of nowhere. Anyway, it's 9 a.m., so you'll need to wait about 12 hours. I think, though, it's close to a new moon, though, so you might have to wait until it's a little fuller. Speaking for the Arch community, the Manjaro user is going to have to fend for themselves. Linux is mainstream. Try using BSD. Desktop is 3% of the marketplace. What distro is mainstream? That's right. Mainstream, Debian, Red Hat, Arch, and their forks, I think. Yeah, I mean, outside of that, I mean, Solus? So it's not part of that. Hey, Political Monkey. Greetings to you, sir. Is it, I think it was my your work schedule was conflicting for a while. Is that solved now? Good to see you back, my friend. Cloud that exists is the one in your head. You saying I'm fuzzy? I'm fuzzy. Visit /G. No, what is /G? No. I have no idea what /G is, man. Can't wait to show Solus again. MX Linux is most hits per day in the last 6 months. Has Manjaro been knocked off #1 yet? Full moon on the 18th. Oh, you're in the middle equator line. Ooh, one from you would be cool too. That'd be neat. What's it look like exactly on the equator? Because I don't imagine it'd be a complete 180. I mean, so I don't know. I kind of want to see. In the middle of the equator line, still can't see the Polaris star. Yeah, that's one of the problems on that. There's like that's like a couple reasons I want to go to Australia. #1, I want to see a drain spin the opposite way as it empties, and #2, I want to see different stars. I think that'd be cool, kind of cool. New moon on the 3rd. Yeah, so new moon is just in a couple of days, so we'd have to wait a little bit longer for that. All right, well, I think, let's see. We've been going for about an hour now, haven't we? Wow. All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Kitty. Kitty. Oh, I hear pitter-patter of kitty cat. Come on, buddy. Come on. All right, we got Houston. We got Kitty Cam. Feed the kitty. Come on. Stick a paw in there. Yeah, we got paw. Get it? Yeah, there you go. One more for you. And another one for you over here. Yeah. Is this finger looking good? Other finger looking good? Oh, sleepy. I don't want to see that. All right, G is technology board on 4chan. Oh, whoa. Gotcha, Kitty. I got you, Kitty. Kitty missed. He's such a klutz. You're a klutz. You know that? My kitty's a klutz. Oh. This time of using Linux was Ubuntu 11.04. Come back to the Linux world, and I'm surprised in a good way. Every hardware works great, only mouse scroll speed problem and buttons if you move the basic left right. Now using elementary OS. All right, very cool. Arch having been the top of difficulty Linux for me. Linux Mint for the win. Yeah, yeah. Hey, Steve's Very Own's going live in a few minutes. Let's see if we can find a link for that. Because we're going to wrap up. So let's see. YouTube, Steve's Very Own. All right. Steve's Very Own. Oh, scheduled for 7:10, huh? So, about 3 minutes. All right, guys. Let's head on over to Steve's Very Own stream and do STL Raid. So, jump on over to Steve's stream and do STL Raid over there. All right, and I'm not sure I'll be able to jump on the stream, but I'll at least play it. I need to go and find me something. Cat is fat. Yes, he is. 18th for full moon. Fat 32. That's right. My cat is Fat 32. Like astronomy, there's a cool open source called Stellarium. Yes, very well familiar with it. Yep. Okay. Arch have been the top of difficulty Linux for me. Should I? I will. What are you doing? What are you doing? Should you, Rodriguez? Should you install Gentoo? Yes. Yes. Cat allocation table. That free to download. Yes. If you're on Linux, it should be actually in your repos. So let me just look over here on Linux Mint. Let me come over to come on over here. And on Linux Mint, just do Stellarium. So any Linux distro, it should already be in the repos. So it's called Stellarium. And it is a really cool simulator for your night sky stuff. So it's really cool stuff. Oh, look at that. An Atari 2600 emulator. Huh, that's cool. There is a flat hub for it, too. If you use flat packs, it does look like there is a Stellarium flat pack for it. All right, guys, head on over to Steve's Very Own and type STL Raid. We will catch you guys later. Thanks for coming along. We should be back tomorrow with another live stream with the supporters. Hopefully I find a topic. If any of my supporters want to shoot me a topic, please let me know. I've actually been traveling for the last couple of days. So I'm back now, back in the office and getting ready, but I have not even looked at any articles yet for news. It's going to be a crazy week. All right, guys, catch you later. Have yourselves a wonderful afternoon. I hope you enjoy switching to Linux.